Hey, this is Drake here. I was coming back with another Remnant 2 build guide. I come across this, and I guess spoiler alert, this is all based around a legendary fragment. Personally, I kind of hate to see that because then, I'm going to have to roll it 25 times to get this legendary to drop. But it's really nothing special, and it's not a legendary I thought I would like too much, but it turns out I really love this build. And all it is just impervious, reduce all incoming damage by 30%. It's not really a super strong, but what it does is it allowed me to put together a build without having to worry about am I going to be a glass cannon, because between that and bark skin you got an extra 40% damage reduction, and you don't have to invest any rings or amulets into it or even worry about the armor you wear, which just kind of opened up the build to be whatever I wanted it to be. And of course I put together the mod swap build just because I've been putting it off forever because I didn't want to be running a glass cannon. But anyway, I mean, it's just a basic standard mod swap build that everyone's running with a few tweaks, because I went a lot more for survivability than damage, but it still does really good damage. But as always, you just want astral burst, and I kind of prefer it with, there's two different ways you can run this. You can do bullet weaver, because fire rate does affect how fast the mod shoots, and this gives you 15% more mod generation for this weapon. Or the other way that you could run it is with spell weaver, and that's just simply for havoc form. Now, most people run Chaos Gate, which is good. If you want to run that, that's fine, but it's more for bossing. It requires you to stay in a little circle, or it don't really do anything. I kind of prefer to have a havoc form just for level clear, like in the gauntlet, just because, our weapons just kind of do trash damage on this other than our mods. And the havoc form is just another way that if I get in a group of enemies, I just pop this, melt them all real quick, and go on to the next area. But as far as, of course, Archon for Prime, because this is like the mod archetype, because you automatically regen 15 power per second, and casting a mod doubles this value, and all this other stuff. So, I mean, everything is just mod oriented, you know what I mean? Mod power, mod critical chance, and all the above. I'm not going to go too deep into this. I'll do a little boss gauntlet, just the 3 apocalypse to show it off. But I made a video on it because it wound up being the most comfy build that I've come across so far. I really enjoy playing it, which I didn't think. But we're running Summoner. Now, this is optional. You can run Summoner, or you could run Warden if you wanted to. Yeah, Warden, you'd be dropping 10% damage, but really it's not a big change. And really, I like little flyers, but if they wind up getting in front of you when you're shooting one of your mods, or just get nuked and wind up making you miss a shot. So really, they're good for level clear, but that's about it. And boss fights, they'll just wind up dying as soon as they get in the way. But you run it mainly for the mod damage, because this is a mod build, and that's about it. And the regrowth is nice on the traits, just having it passively, because this is a super health regen build. I guess if I had to call it anything, it would be like super survivable, because, and as you can see, I mean, these come with the archetypes, but we got Fortify, Triage, Strong Back, and just enough to get us to the green weight, which is 7 for my armor. It could vary for whatever you're wanting to wear. I had a few extra points, so I just dumped them into kinship so that the little flyers don't just instantly get nuked when I accidentally shoot them. Of course, Vigor, and I love Endurance because I hate running out of stamina in boss fights. Spirit, of course, for mod generation, Siphoner for lifesteal, Bark Skin for, just max durability. And I love, as always, 7 into fitness for that 21% evade distance, because it just feels super comfy. And as far as this, I mean, you're basically stuck running reaction chain if you want to run a mod build, just because of the activating mod generates 50% of mod power spent to the stowed weapon. So, I mean, and it gives you 20% mod damage. So really, you can't run a mod build without it, unfortunately. So that's where the 30% damage reduction came in, because this is no survivability. But anyway, we got this kind of standard 12% mod damage. And I really like this one. And you could go more damage, but this is more survivability. But this one is for every 100 mod power, you generate a shield for 20% of your max health. That lasts 15 seconds, but where it kind of gets OP is it has no cooldown. So as you're firing your mods, you are constantly regening this thing. It's always active. If you get hit for 20% damage, next mod instantly regens 20% shield. You know, see what I'm saying? So it's like regening 20% of your health every second. And then this one could be swapped out by really kind of like it, and it's using a mod, generates 20% max health over 10 seconds, can stack up to 30 seconds. This thing will always be full stacks as long as you're using your mod, and it gives you a ton of health regen. And now this one's kind of optional. I went with the mod power generation, just flat 10%. You can run this one for 30%, and your mods will be more consistently up, which they're not bad anyway. But it does reduce fire rate, and like I said, fire rate affects how quickly you get your mods off for some unknown reason. So it will slow down the DPS a bit. But from my experience, you know, bosses rarely sit still and let you just stand there and unload on them. So it's really not a big deal. But this is just kind of comfy for me to play. Now rotation, I like to do the skewer first because it's a higher mod power expenditure. So the 3 from your other gun usually refund one of these. So you do 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and then you got one back, and then this one, and then this one, and that's kind of the rotation. Usually, you know, and I'm not all that great at swapping them. This build usually averages around 8,000 to 9,000 DPS a second, but really it's more of like a burst DPS because one rotation, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. It'll be around 25,000 damage every rotation. That's kind of it. I mean, like I said, it's just the mod swapper build. Oh, I've got Tainted Blade on this, but really and truly I hardly ever use this thing to apply because usually it's just so slow that you get smacked out of it. And I'm not that great of aim with the axe, but you know, that's just another 10% damage if you can apply this. But it only lasts for 10 seconds, so really I wouldn't sweat it if you don't apply it. And weapon, maker's choice, I just threw it on the Bulldog because I had it. I kind of like this, like for level clear, even though we've got like 0 range damage, this thing still does a pretty decent job of clearing out trash, mobs on the way, and I just kind of like the Tech 22 for the same reason. High fire rate, does a decent amount of damage, you know, and even without any range buffing at all, it will still do a decent job of clearing stuff out of our way, because honestly, bosses just kind of are easy. The levels are what slows this build down some. But that's it. I'm gonna run this 3 boss rush on apocalypse mode. I mean, that was the build. If you want to skip this part, that's fine, but we'll just see what kind of bosses we get. Give a little showcase of it here, and I'll summon these guys, but really they don't just do a whole lot. Personally, I would prefer to run Warden with it, but without anything to, you know, give the drone a little extra duration, it just doesn't last all that long. Like I said, you know, really you don't have to worry about even taking hits or anything. Just pop your mods, even level cleared, shoot a little. You see they can't really do anything to us. I mean, I won't even try to dodge. I mean, you don't want to get stagger locked. They would quit avoiding my stuff. As you see, I mean, they just literally really can't do anything to us. Oh, there's one with a shocker. I mean, shocker is bad, but not really with this build. We had to get this dude. Where the hell did he go? Most of the time it'll two-shot pretty much any aberration you get. And in my opinion, those are the worst parts of any boss gauntlet. Like any of them, like that. Those things scare me far worse because like above level 10 and the gauntlet, if they spawn shocker, you better run. Like I've only been one-shotted by a couple of things in this build, and that's one of them that'll do it. The shocker substat on aberration and a high level on a gauntlet, or the beams that come out of the floor on the One True King. Those do a crap ton of damage. I'm talking about the flyers. They like to spawn right in front of you. Oh, that would have killed him if he hadn't freaking went in the ground. There we go. So this is the... It don't even matter what you get. Like, mod damage would be great, but honestly, it hardly ever rolls. Like, I hardly ever get mod damage. And I didn't really consider it when I was putting it together, but you don't even have to worry about ammo. I haven't used an ammo box since I started using this build. And with all my other builds, that was a constant issue. Run out of ammo in the middle of boss fights. You have to try to find an opening and use the ammo box. This, you basically got infinite ammo because all you're worried about is using your mods. It's really just like super comfy. You've got unlimited ammo, basically unlimited life, and you do really high damage, to be honest about the matter. Oh, we actually got mod damage. I think that could be the first time I've ever got it. As you see, you basically just one-tap any elite enemy and usually two-tap the aberrations. And it actually helps to use your mods through the level because you're keeping your health regen at max stacks and your shield is always up too. Get around there so we can shoot this guy. Get down here. Ah, crap, I missed. This guy's getting on my nerves. I would say that one's kind of... Sometimes it'll miss for some apparent reason. Like just, I've shot completely through enemies and it just completely misses them. It does have a tendency to miss. And like I said, the flyer dudes really don't do much. Oh, this guy would be kind of good showcase. Like, and one thing else I've discovered about this build is that it really doesn't matter if you hit weak points or not. It almost does the same DPS either way. So enemies like this guy that have a small weak point, it kind of doesn't matter. You still wipe them out. Nope, missed that. Oh well. took a hit. Oh, they got my flyer. There we go. Kind of a showcase on how badly you can play and still survive, I guess. But yeah, like, super comfy. And honestly, with the mod swapper build, there's only probably like one other legendary that would even benefit you, and that might be the one where you like get 35% critical chance at lightweight. I think that would really be the only other one. Maybe like Jack of all trades. I think the 40% all damage would probably apply to mods too. I assume. I'm not 100% on that, but I assume it would. But yeah, so there's not like just a large amount of things that would actually make the build better. Oh, there he is. Where's the... oh, it's over here. See if we can find the pole. One thing I wish, if they ever were to update the gauntlet again, I wish they would make it to where, like... really matter. But I wish they would make it to where you got a buff for clearing a level. Oh, you had to go resistant, didn't you? Stupid teleporter. Get out of here. But yeah, I wish they would do it so you got a buff for clearing each level and then a buff for clearing each boss. So you're not wandering around looking for the freaking pole half the time that you're in them. But I guess it is what it is. Just make it like literally kill so many enemies, get a buff. Kill a boss, get a buff. Make it more streamlined. So you're not constantly running around. Oh, one true king. It'd be nice. See if we can actually tank one of his beams. It would be kind of embarrassing to get one-shotted by it. Oh, it kind of helps to keep the, whichever one you have the skewer on as your weapon you're not holding, because it gets that 25% mod gen. So it just, as you're progressing from level to level, it will help you regen it faster, as you can see. Not really a big deal, but just kind of what I found. Where'd you go? A little early on that one. Yeah, he went resistant. But yeah, like your Havoc form works pretty good for stuff like this. Just, when boss spawns in some trash mobs. I'm not really interested if we can survive that or not. I'm afraid that we won't. Yeah, those right there. Man, they do a ton of damage. Ooh, I guess we can tank them. And there we go. Nice final boss. I love the One True King. Probably my favorite fight in the game. But I do think that, like, those beams on 3-player Apocalypse difficulty. Oh, nice time, too. Like 12:45. Apocalypse. Let's see what kind of damage. 482,000. Not bad. Not bad. And you see, we only says we took 632 damage taken. Well, I guess that's the damage mitigation part of the build. But yeah, like I said, most comfy build that I have found so far, because it's kind of like a balance, a very good balance, because it does, as you can see, it does a lot of damage. It could be more. Like if you wanted to go more into crit, you could possibly like swap one of these out for your braided thorns or whatever. Oh, and I meant to show this. Like currently this build is sitting at 73.2% DR. Like 80 is max. And on paper you can go above 80, but in my testing it's a false readout. Above 80 does not count, so there's no point in stacking above 80. So if you wanted to swap something out, like a little heavier armor, you could get up to 80 easily on this. But yeah, we're getting 45% damage reduction on this, and that's basically it. And everything else, it's just there. But yeah, we've only got like, I meant to show the legendary a little better. I'll show the fragment. But we've got like 27.5% critical chance. So I mean, if you wanted to go heavier into that, you would definitely squeeze a little more damage out of it and just sacrifices from survivability, because it's still super survivable. But I just played that and I was like, man, this doesn't even feel like Apocalypse mode. I feel like I'm on Survivor mode, just easing through there, not really worried about anything. But as far as the honestly, my Prism could be better, because I wasn't intending to build this for a mod build. I was wanting like an all-rounder. That's why I went for health regen, skill cooldown. I went for damage reduction and armor bonus. And I went for weak spot damage and critical damage, because that like applies to every build. And then I chucked range, critical chance, and ammo reserve, because I figured that'd be, you're always like using a gun. I never figured on doing so. If I wanted to change this, I would probably change this to like mod damage. The one that there's I think it's mage. I believe it's mod damage and possibly mod cooldown or mod duration, one of the two. And I would possibly change this healing effectiveness for mod regen. Another 10% mod regen would be great. So I mean, if you wanted to build this Prism, that would be the thing. If I was going to build it specifically for this build, that's what I would want to have on it, is more mod regen, or possibly mod damage right here, and something other right here, just something more geared toward the mod. I mean, everything else I believe I would leave the same. It's just this stat and this stat I would re-roll. And as far as these, I've just got mod critical chance. That's actually wrong. That should be mod damage. Anyway, I was losing 10% on that run, really. But yeah, this, I don't know why it did that. But yeah, this should be mod damage, mod critical chance, and I like health regen, but I mean, honestly, you've got a bunch. So if you wanted to give up health regen, throw something else in there, like a little mod regen, it would be fine too. Anyway, like I said, it's just like the most flexible build I've seen. Comfy, does a lot of damage. You're not really ever in any danger as long as you're using your mods. You don't even have to hit with the mods. Just as long as you're using them, you've got your health regen, you've got your shield always up. it's like the best of every world. You do a crap ton of damage. And honestly, on the traits, I've never had a build where I had extra points that I didn't really know what to invest into. But on this one, like, these 6 extra points, you could put them into whatever. If you had, I haven't went and got Leech yet, but Leech would be good just to get a little bit more life steal or something like that, just whatever. But yeah, that's it. I don't ramble anymore, but if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment. If you like the content, click the sub. Man, it would be great to actually get, a bunch of subs, which I guess everybody's after that. But yeah, just that's it. And if I come across anything else good, I'll try to share it. And as always, thanks for watching.